Hello beautiful people, and welcome back. I think we're going with the name New Beginnings, maybe? I don't know, we'll stick with that, I guess. I'm going to have to keep it that, that's what the Road to Glory is going to be called, New Beginnings. Welcome back to New Beginnings, episode 3. Thank you for tuning in. We're still in Division 10, we're keeping the team as it is. I like some of your suggestions on the previous videos for players, but I was just going to finish the division with these players. I thought, I'll wait until I get those extra coins and then we can look at possibly getting some even better players than we could already get to fill out this team. You've really thrown out some nice suggestions of players I've completely forgotten about, having been on like PC and using really expensive players like Ben Yedder, Mangala, Baude Zhao. Like, there are some really cheap overpowered players. By the way, I don't know what you're seeing right now. Apologies for leaving this in. Just my efforts to find a game in Division 10. That shouldn't be in there at all. But hey ho, we're going to go with it. If you stuck through that, thank you. A little bit of love to you. Yeah, so Division 10. I'm really enjoying starting again. It's got to be said. There's so much stuff to do. So much stuff. As we come up against 5 at the back there. And 5 at the back in Division 10, you don't really need to be worried, do you? Let's say. He hasn't got the best team as well. I only just noticed he actually had a striker at centre back. A silver striker. But when someone's rocking 5 at the back in Div 10, you know they're not going to be good at defending. So it was never going to be a challenging game. We do create a lovely move there, by the way, for Cyprian to finish that off. But it wasn't hard. Like you can see here, he's just sliding in. We're walking around him. He really can't defend. His game plan was again just run down the wing and cross it in and hope. It's it's a very basic style of FIFA. It could work. FIFA 14, it worked very well for a lot of people. Not so much anymore, unfortunately. And that's a good thing, although I do miss crossing. FIFA 14 was definitely my favourite when I had Cliver, the silver team of the season Depay, and was it a team of the season Sterling? I think that was my front three, and Sterling and Depay were just so fast, and they just cross it into Cliver, who'd score all the headers. It was beautiful. But yeah, we're walking away with this game 5-0. We've got some coins to spend as it's coming up. I did look at your suggestions, and I certainly did take some of them on board, but we'll get to that in a bit here. My opponent does manage to get one back. So you're playing against bad people who do the same thing every time. When they suddenly change it, you don't predict it. I was just assuming he was going to go down the wing and cross it in once more. We did complete a weekly objective. Yay! And we've got a 2-player pack. Yay! Because they're always good. I was so excited to open this, and we didn't get a board. We didn't even get a rare gold. That's how bad it was. Absolutely tragic. Look at that, shiny silver. Terrible. And a Newcastle player, it's even worse. Nobody wants those Geordies, let's be honest. Although they are actually having a good season. They're probably having a better season than Arsenal right now. Can't help but deny that. And for our final game of Division 10, we do come up against another 5 at the back team. Again, nothing superb. 5-2-1-2 5-2-1-2? Yeah, 5-2-1-2. Jesus, 5-2-1-2-1-2. If you could play that formation, you'd be doing alright, having 13 players on the pitch. But again, it took us a little while to score in this one actually, but I'm never really too worried about the result. Sometimes in Division 10 you can get those players who have either relegated themselves or, like me, have just switched over from a different console or PC. And you can get tricky games, but we got none of that in Division 10 as we went 3-0 up there in the 50th minute, and that was enough for my opponent at that point. He did indeed quit on out straight away, and we win the division, which I believe granted us 2,000 coins when it comes up here. I'm not sure, I can't remember what the reward was. It might be 2,800. That might have been the single player one, I don't know. But we're in Division 9 now, in both single player and online. 2,000 coins, yeah. So not spectacular, but it gives us something to work with, something to play with, something to do with our coins. And I did in fact decide with these coins to go out and pick up some upgrades for the team. We're going to move away from the League and move away from the French team, because although it's decent Liga, I think there's just so many weak areas, particularly defence. There aren't any stellar defenders. Like at fullbacks, I don't see anyone good. Meunier is probably the best, but then he's slow. His pace isn't great. Centre back, you've got Thiago Silva as by far and away the best, but he's still someone you will rarely come up against because he's so weak. It's just not good. And even at fullback, you haven't got anyone. You've got like informed Marcel maybe. But we were looking there. Alex Vidal, I did think about Semedo, but Semedo was about 3 times as expensive as Alex Vidal, so we had to go with him for budgetary reasons. Of course, he's dirt cheap. I used to love him back in the day. I believe FIFA 15, when he was a right midfielder, if you played him on 7 chem at centre mid, he was the Liga Ramirez. Beautiful. But he was a Ramirez with 4-star skills. For those of you that remember Ramirez, hopefully, well, I don't know if I say hopefully, rumours are circulating that he might be coming back to Europe and he could return to Ultimate Team. If that's the case, I would love that. But we actually decided against Vidal because his stats just aren't fantastic. And you look at DeMarcos there for like 900 coins. Even if he's off chem, he's still going to be better in my opinion. And we're just going to have to look to hybrid out the team a little bit more. We had to get rid of Seri, and then I took on board some of your comments. Ben Yedder there, I was thinking, yeah, as a cam, he could do a lovely job. 5-star, 4-star. Decent pace, decent shooting, decent passing, decent dribbling. Looks like a very tidy little player. Someone I haven't actually used yet this year. I know he's a go-to for a lot of people. He's a lot of their favourites as a cheap player. We get him there for a centre forward with a dead-eye chemistry style for nice and cheap. Just boosting those stats we need. And that is the team right now, except, I'm lying, we're going to look to replace that centre-back because he's crap. We're not going to be able to get away with him. Looking at who I can do, Semedo, you know, non-rare, really tall, good pace, meh defending, great physical. Lenglet obviously would have worked better for chemistry, but I looked at Lenglet's card, and particularly for squad battles, which would be the main focus of this series right at the start, because that's how we're going to generate most of the coins. You want centre-backs with height and that are physical, that can push players off, to be honest, more than you want defending stats. Little bit of trading here! Just as the new marquee matchups dropped, I picked all these cards up. I was just bidding on them from anywhere to 300 to 600 coins and then sold them for 900. So it worked quite well, and I did that for a little while until someone else started doing it and started outbidding me, and it just stopped working at that point. So we got ourselves up to 9,000 coins. And with those coins, I had a look at what was available. I know someone commented Mangala, and I do agree he is OP as shite. But I needed to stick to really the La Liga. So we went out and bought ourselves some titties. We got the booby man himself, Mr. Umtiti, for 5,000 coins, I think it was, with an anchor card. And I was like, that's not bad. He's actually a decent player. He's got good pace, good defending, decent physical. He's a little bit on the short side at 5'11", but he's still a good enough card that I couldn't really ask for much more for that budget. And we went out and bought Silerson as well, because we just wanted a cheap goalkeeper, really. Wasn't too fussed about whether he was going to be any good or not. Also picked up Muriel there for a cheap. Gamera, of course, we got before. Ben Yedder, yep, fantastic. Cyprian, 750. Paulinho, 1,500. First owner, Kondogbia. You can see there, just a very cheap team. Probably a 10k team. And this team actually worked wonders for me in squad battles. However, once I had a few more coins, I did decide that I felt it was time to perhaps start doing some SBCs, because this is going to be how we're going to make our money, really. We're probably not going to get too involved in the weekend league, but SBCs, we're going to look to do as many as we can. Squad battles and SBCs. We might do a weekend league, potentially. I was considering doing it this weekend with my cheap 10k team, just see what I could do with it. But I'm not going to have the coins to be able to fund fitness, and I haven't got a second team, so it's going to really be an impossibility for me this weekend. Maybe next weekend, if I've got the time, I'll try and fit it in, but we're not. Anyway, we got ourselves the rare gold pack there. It didn't cost us too much, and I was just praying for a board. I was like, a board, and we should make profit. And we got the board. We got the board. We saw Argentina, instantly knew it was going to be terrible because we're not packing Aguero, Higuain, Dybala, someone like that. It had to be Rulli. He's 83 rated. That's the that's the best thing about him. No one's looking at his stats. Actually, he could fit in the team. Yeah, he might be better than Silasson. I might chuck him in. I didn't even think about that when I packed him. He could go in the team. But we get Aussie Cup and not Part B, but Part A in there. And a couple of position modifiers, which we will sell because we're not going to use them right now. We could do with the coins more than actually having those in the club. So that was a no-brainer. So all in all, that probably wasn't worth it. But, you know, you've got to take the risks if you want to get coins in this game. Packs, ultimately, they pay out in the long run. Over the period of the year, you're going to have to be very unlucky to not get back more than you've spent. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for watching and all for your suggestions of players. I do like the players you suggested. This is where we're going to leave it. If you want to hit like and subscribe, I'll love you forever. But yeah, that's it, and I will talk to you later.